for dinner on Monday. Just kind of working with what we have in the pantry and the fridge. We are just having some barbecue chicken with some steamed green beans seasoned with butter and salt, and just some of our skillet potatoes, and some tomatoes from our garden, and the fresh pineapple I cut up, and some of our pickles. Had to do a quick, easy dinner tonight because Jordy Bug is sick. Aren't you? There, it's non-meatless Monday. For dinner on Tuesday, we're having this stuffed 8-ball zucchini parmesan recipe. I just posted our dinner video with this. I made it a couple weeks ago, so I showed how I make it. It's really good. And this time we got parmesan couscous and some cherries and, you know. Okay, so tonight's dinner is these stuffed Anaheim peppers. I needed a way to use up our peppers from our CSA. And I'll just put the recipe below because it was a lot of work, but the inside tastes really good. But I haven't tasted the whole thing yet, but that's what the lemon is for. It's a squeeze on there with some salsa maybe. And so we're just having it with Mexican rice and some of our squash that we always cook. And that's what's for dinner on Wednesday. Tonight for dinner, what is tonight? Thursday. I made this recipe once, like a year ago. It's a good way to use up stuff from our CSA. This is some Swiss chard. It's about 2 bunches worth, I think. And then over here I've got 2 pounds worth of potatoes. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just cutting up the Swiss chard, taking the stems out, and I'm gonna just wash it. I'll wash the potatoes and cut them up and show you what to do next. Right now I'm working on our chicken. This is a recipe from How Jen Does It. She just calls it her awesome baked chicken. So I just have one big chicken breast right here that I cut in half. And then in this bowl I just have some flour. It's about 1/4 of a cup. And then right here I've got about 3 tablespoons of butter, a 1/2 teaspoon of celery salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and an 1/8 teaspoon of pepper. Mix that together, and I got my baking dish right here, which I need to grease real quick. So I'm just going to dredge the chicken breast in the flour. It's kind of hard to do while I'm holding the camera. Can't think of anything. So it really doesn't take that much flour. And then dip it in here. I'm having her recipe, and I'll put her recipe below. And place it in the baking dish, and I'll do the other one real quick. And these are the breadcrumbs that I have on hand. So I'm just going to use maybe 1/4 of a cup at the most, and sprinkle that on top of each breast and press it in there. And I've got my oven set to 350. We're going to bake it for about 25 minutes and it will be ready. I've made this recipe a few times. It has a good flavor, and it's really just an easy way to cook chicken, so that's why I like to make it. Okay, so for the potatoes and Swiss chard recipe, I've got my potatoes chopped up and put them in the water, brought it to a boil, and now I'm just going to let them simmer until they are tender. Okay, so my potatoes are done, and in here I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I'm going to add about 6 cloves of chopped garlic, and that's just on low, and I'm going to let that cook for like 4 minutes. Okay, now to the garlic, I'm going to add my Swiss chard. Looks so pretty after sitting in the water, and a cup of vegetable broth, and I'm just going to let that cook for a few minutes until the chard starts to wilt. And I'm going to go ahead and get out a food processor because this is going to go into a food processor to be chopped up. Okay, after the chard started to wilt, I put it here in my food processor, and I'm just going to chop that up. Alright, then I added the chopped up chard back to the skillet, and I'm going to add the potatoes, 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, and I'm just going to let that cook over medium heat until we're ready to eat. And right before we eat it, I'll season it with some salt and pepper. Pretty simple, and it has a yummy flavor. And there's dinner, just some boxed mac and cheese, along with our potato and Swiss chard recipe, which I'll put that below. And then our chicken, which I'll put her video recipe for that below also. So I feel like this is a simple dinner, but then again, even my simple dinners take a little bit of work, but I think it's because of the kids. But anyways, that's what's for dinner on Thursday. Oh, and I'm eating mine in a bowl so I can get lots of the juice. Okay, tonight for dinner it's Friday. I got a frozen pizza, or not exactly frozen. It's like the ones they make in the store at a Kroger. And so I'm gonna attempt a cucumber and pasta recipe that I found on Pinterest to go along with it, because as y'all probably know, we've got a million cucumbers. So anyways, what I have mixed in here is a half a cup of mayonnaise. I got this organic one for the first time. It tastes pretty similar. And then a half a cup of sour cream, and then a teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and 2 tablespoons of fresh dill. And then I'm also just gonna add some pepper to taste to it. And then I've got my water on the stove starting to boil, so I'm gonna put half a pound of this mini penny pasta in there, cook that, and I'm gonna start slicing up some cucumbers, and it will all be mixed together and then just left in the refrigerator until it's time to eat. Alright, so here I got my sliced cucumbers in a bowl. I went ahead and sliced them into fourths, and I took the seeds out. And now I'm going to add my cooked pasta and the dressing, and I'm going to mix it all together. It looks good, and I figured the mini pasta would be more kid friendly, I don't know. And I'm just gonna put it in the fridge and so it can cool down and be ready when it's time to eat. Hope it's good. I almost forgot about tomatoes, you guys. We've got a million tomatoes also along with cucumbers, so we're gonna add that to it, make it look prettier. And it says in the recipe also that you can also add some lemon juice, but I don't think we have any lemon juice, or else I will try that out.